Hi guys and girls, and welcome to Talkingheads podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand. I'm the host Dave D, and thank you for joining me here today, and thank you for joining our family. For you guys out there, of course, who have already subscribed to the channel, thanks a lot. And of course, for you guys out there that want to know all of what's coming up and happening, hit that notification bell right now. Of course, we are a listener-sponsored podcast. We survive from you guys liking us and we liking you. We're one big family. Thanks for joining us. There's a lot to come, and we'll see you soon. Don't forget all the links below. See you next time. Bye.
Podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand, with your host, Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.
And welcome to Pattaya, welcome to Thailand, of course. Welcome to Talking Heads podcast live from the studio. And of course, Asburn at the head of the table, Body Powers. How you doing, my man?
We're doing good, man.
Good.
Alex and Nils in the house.
Alex
I'm
and
excited.
Nils. We got some CC in the room today, Dred. I'll tell you that for a fact. Alex Porsing, how you doing? Welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to see you. And of course, the man himself at the head of the table, Niels Koloff. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Always great to be back.
Nice to see you. He's rather relaxed at the end of the table, isn't he? He looks too comfortable today, doesn't he?
He's always relaxed, actually.
Good. He's a cool dude. I can
enjoying
tell
himself.
Top of the world. Top of the world.
Top of the world. There we go. All right, it's nice to have you in the studio. And of course, Alice, you're from Denmark, and of course, speaking English. We'll get to that a little bit later on, where you learned all that, of course. But born in Denmark, whereabouts?
In Herning.
Herning, which is where in
Which
Denmark?
is like center of Jutland, which is the middle of Denmark.
Mm-hmm. So you're at the moment you're into your bikes. Well, let's take you back to when you got your first bike. Now, a little bird tells me, and I mean, you know, we've got a bit of a debate going on here, because we heard that it was 2.5. The head of the table says it's 2. Okay, so your dad brought you a motorbike at what age?
I think it was about 2.5 years old.
Shit,
so
I'm gonna pay you now.
that's at least when I don't know, actually. I think I rode it the same day as I got it.
Wow.
I was pretty surprised, actually, because when I saw videos of myself getting my first dirt bike, and it's like I got on the bike and I already knew how to, like, where the throttle was and where the brake was, and I was like, I saw that video and I was like, holy shit! Like, maybe it was like meant to be that.
But did your dad put the stabilizers on it? Or
No, he just
anything?
literally just picked me up and put me on the bike.
2.5, puts you on it. You know where everything is, and just lets you go.
Yeah. There's a video of me like getting on the bike and I'm already with my right hand like everything.
We were the same. Me and Niels were exactly the same, weren't we, Niels?
You bet.
Except me and him had the 3-wheel bikes.
Oh yeah, all right. Well,
2.5 years old. I mean, was your dad into bikes then?
yeah, my dad was a professional speedway racer. So my big brother was racing already, and then it was. I don't think I had a choice.
So being from Denmark and being speedway racing in those days, I would imagine is like on dirt, yeah.
Yeah, it was dirt track, like
Definitely.
flat track circle racing, basically.
Have you been to speedway, Niels? Have you ever been?
I've been to Speedway, never raced. When I was a kid, I had a cross bike, and I had an accident, got the steering in the stomach, and that kind of put me off, so I went into 4 wheels.
That was Niels' bike career over.
That was it.
Over. I'm done.
Wow.
Well, of course, when you're saying your dad was into bikes, and of course, I mean, I've met people over the years through MotoGP and British Superbikes and things like that. I've been traveling with these guys sometimes. And you know what? It's very familiar what you've said. Because, you know, you've just said, well, at 2.5, I got my first bike, but I got on it and suddenly I knew where the throttle was. I knew where the clutch was.
Yeah.
Instinctively. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
So it's really weird how that works, yeah?
I think it's just the usual thing, to be honest. Like for the people who get far in their career regarding 2 wheels, I think most of the people who get far in a sport is because they started in a young age. You see these skiers and all these kind of athletes around the world. You know, most of them actually started in a very young age, and I think that you learn how to become a human in your first 5 years. And so if you, like me, spend half of your first 5 years on a bike, how, you know, that's like, it's like that's how you're going to turn out, you know.
But it's amazing. I mean, how it's sort of, you know, it's instinct, isn't it, Niels? I mean,
Yeah.
how it's there, and it's you know, people say, you know, is it passed on? You know, did you learn it from somebody? And it's you know, like you said, the instinct was there straight away. You knew where everything was. Strange.
probably also played a part that the whole family was into it.
Yeah.
You know, so you're in an environment of motorcycles. You know, I think that also is very important.
And of course, being around everything and sort of taking,
You can see it
I
with.
must have seen it, you know,
Yeah,
like I
sure.
must have just been so young and then see my dad racing
Yeah.
and my brother racing, and then I just knew it, you know, but I don't remember it, you know.
I mean, at two and a half. I mean, 2.5 and getting your first bike. I mean, woohoo! Yeah, it must have been brilliant. See you, lads. I'm off.
I wish I could remember it though.
I know, but I mean, wow, I mean, after that, okay, so you get your first bike. Your dad puts you on it. He holds the back wheel up, of course, so you can like give it revs and let it go. Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, it wasn't really allowed to be riding with the three wheels on the track according to the government, to the rules of the government. So my dad had to my dad got a permission somehow to stay behind me before the tape went up, and
Wasn't
then
it
hold
3
my,
in Denmark though? Isn't it 3?
Yeah, you
before
had to
can
be
race a bike?
3. You had to be 3, but we kind of just yeah. I have a trophy from. I was born in '94, and I have a trophy from somewhere in '96. So and my dad was holding the back fender and then let it go.
Just let you go.
Yeah.
So after that, I mean, you've got the bug. You want to do that. I mean, where did you go from there?
What do you mean?
What was, from moving on from being a 2.5, 3-year-old kid? I mean, where did you go from there? Did you get into the bike straight away with your dad? Did he put you into racing? What happened?
Yeah, I just got into it. You know, I got into racing, and I definitely did not like school. So to be able to go out and race, to be able to go out and race 3 or 4 times a week was like a relief for me. And it became my identity. It became who I was, and still is today. So it was just something that I think was just meant to be for me, you know.
Surely the other kids that didn't have the bikes, I mean, they thought you were pretty cool. Surely that you got a bike and you could do this.
I don't know. I was actually bullied when I was younger. I don't really know why.
No.
I think people just get
Jealousy?
bullied. But yeah, perhaps. I don't really, I never really thought about me being bullied. But when I got older, I started remembering back, and I actually was bullied. But I think I just didn't give a fuck back then. You know, I was just like, whatever, you bully me. You know, I decide to not let you bully me.
Best attitude.
I was just like, all right, you think whatever you want. I knew that at a very young age. Like, I don't care what the hell you say about me. I'll show you. I'll show you one day. You'll be the ones. You know.
Absolutely, and you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
And you did. So you've got your bike. You don't give a fuck. You're on the way. You're going on your journey. I mean, when did you seriously get into it? Because I mean, it's got to be, I would imagine, going on what I know, around about the 14, 15, 16 years sort of
yeah,
age-ish.
I mean, I was already doing world championships and whatnot on ADCC when I was probably about like 12, 13, 14. And then most kids, they actually move in Speedway. Now they have 250cc. Back then, you actually went from 80cc to 500cc, which is just, and I was a really small kid. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was very young, and I got medicine for that. And it's actually, prevents you from growing. There's been certain side effects of that, showing side effects of that. So I was very small when I was like 15. I was probably like 150 centimeters tall and weighing like fucking 40 kilos or something. I was a very, very small kid. But with a very big heart, So I convinced my dad, like, I'll race 500cc. Like, I'll be fine.
I mean, that's some step up, though. I mean, I know that from 80 to 500. I mean, hello.
Oh, man.
That's like normal engine to turbo.
Can you imagine 150 centimeter little kid racing a 500cc speedway bike with no brakes on? I don't know how the hell my dad thought that was a good idea, but he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Did you ever, Niels, go to, I mean, being from Denmark, did you ever go to any sort of racetracks or anything in those days and go speedwaying, or was you into that kind of thing?
Not really.
No.
Only private prize money races on American cars. We did a lot of those.
You did.
But it was big back in Denmark, with Ole Olsen and Erik Gunnarsson and all that.
And what was that?
It's nearly a national sport in Denmark.
Yeah,
wow.
I think it still is like one of the 3 most spectated sports
Yeah.
in Denmark. Yeah, I think ice hockey, football, Speedway or something
and
like that.
Ole Olsen, the legend in Speedway
Ole Olsen,
in Denmark, I think we owe him a lot.
Yeah, for sure. He paved the way for all motorsports in Denmark, basically.
So what about when you go from 80cc up to 500cc? That's roughly, what, 16?
Yeah, I think I was 15.
15, 16,
Yeah,
okay.
15.
And that is in competitive racing then, yes?
Yes. I
Okay.
went straight into thinking my brother already raced for 2 years and he was one of the best in the country already. He was a big talent. And as a little brother, all you want to do is
beat
beat
him.
your big brother. So I got a chance to do the Danish National Championship, and obviously I was doing really good because I had a natural talent for it. So I was doing really good, and got overexcited and crashed pretty bad.
That's the thing that I was going to say, and I mean I've known that over years
Yeah.
with people, and that is you get into something, and even like I said with GP or superbikes, they're all the same. They get on it, they think that they know everything, they think they can do everything. They get so overconfident, and they get
Yeah.
up to third, first, or
But
whatever.
you know, when you're
bang.
that young, you
No.
think you're adult. You think you're an adult.
Fear
you think
factor.
you can do everything.
There's
you
no
know?
fear. There's no fear factor.
No,
There's no fear factor.
Not at all. Not at all.
So,
And,
so I mean, doing that, and I mean, having those sort of races, I mean, and crashing. I mean, was that a wake up call for you?
no, not at all. Actually,
Good.
It was kind of weird. People were always the way I got into freestyle is a weird story because I crashed at 15, and I was out for a while, and it was funny because the doctors told me that I had to wait 6 months or something to ride again. I dislocated my hip and had a massive surgery in my hip, and they were like, "You can never race again because blah blah blah," and so my mom and my dad, normally they wouldn't be angry. Already at this point, I already broken like 5 or 6 bones when I was this age. But they were never angry at me because maybe it was just something that happens in racing. But this crash was special because I was really reckless. My mom and dad could tell that I just didn't care at all what I was doing. So they were like kind of teach me a lesson. Some people get grounded. Some kids get grounded. And I was just, I got basically like a timeout from racing to reconsider.
Because what anybody thinks, then they look at racing. I mean, you know this. They look at racing, they think that everybody's crazy, reckless, or whatever you want to say. But that within the racing itself, there's discipline.
Yeah, there is. But, I was just different. I was just really reckless, like too reckless, like not good for myself.
Dangerous, reckless.
Yeah, like dangerous for other riders as well, because I
Absolutely.
just had no fear at all. And so they timed out. They gave me a timeout. Then I came back to it and crashed again. Same way, same injury. Just, same like people go to jail, come out, didn't learn nothing. So
So the first crash you didn't learn anything. The second crash you didn't learn anything.
So the second crash.
Don't tell me there's a third time lucky.
Nah. After the second one, I was doing rehab, and I convinced my dad to get me a dirt bike because I told him if I can't race, I need to stay fit somehow.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I was still like 16 at that point or something, maybe 16, almost 17. And then I went to YouTube one day, and then I saw this Nitro Circus guys doing all these tricks
Brilliant.
in America.
Brilliant.
And I was like, what I'm already doing is not too dangerous. Maybe I should do something that's more dangerous. So actually, I convinced my dad to. Actually, first they didn't want to let me make a jump at the farm where we were living. So I went to the neighbor and they had a jump. So I was telling my parents that I was like racing at the track. It was like a supercross track.
Yeah, sure.
And I was telling my parents like, no, I go there and like I race to get fit, right? But really what I was doing was like jumping and like taking one hands off.
We should into the foam, yeah.
No. That was just like a supercross track, and
Okay,
they had
alright.
it had a jump.
Okay.
That was bigger than the others,
Alright.
and I would literally just jump that jump and go right back and jump the same
More confident,
jump, and
more
then
confident.
try and do all this stuff. And then one day I told my dad, like, I showed my dad some photos, and I said, "Yo, this is what I can do now. Maybe I should change." And my dad was really angry at me, and so I went back to racing again, and then just immediately after I think I had 3 or 4 races, I was just like, this is not me anymore. I was just
It's strange, isn't it? Because you've
I
done
was obsessed with the jumping.
I was going to say you've done something that's in the family. You like it, and you've been a bit reckless, okay, and then you've gone away and had a break, and you found something that sort of lights your fire, or nitro,
Yeah.
or whatever you want to say.
Yeah,
and when you've gone back to the other thing, the bug's not the same.
No, it was just not
Strange.
the same feeling. It was like I wasn't feeling fucking good about racing anymore. It was like, why do I have to stay fit and do all this stuff when I see videos of these guys? These guys, you know, at this point, imagine, put yourself in my position. I'm 17 years old, and you see videos of these guys with girls and parties and,
there we go. Now we
shows and money, and you know, they get all that stuff, and then but I still have to go to school and race and work out and be serious. Like, what if I can do this? That would be way more fun.
The guy's open his eyes.
So I was like, bye racing. I'll do this now, you know. And
So your dad was for that or against that?
he was very against that. He did not talk to me for half a year. I moved out.
I'll let you into a secret, Alex. He was jealous.
I never thought about that.
He was jealous, man. I'm telling you.
That's a mind blower.
My son has got all the drink, the girls, the booze, the sex. He's got everything. Now, listen, when we get to 21, this is when you was doing your backflipping and you're trying to get into it, yes?
Yeah, so after I started doing that, it got serious. And then I moved to Belgium, and I started being professional right away. I quit school and everything.
Yeah.
And I had a natural talent for it, and no one was doing it in my country. So I didn't have anyone to pave the way for me. So I just did it my own way, and I went to Belgium with some of the best riders in the world.
Which is great. I mean, you start mixing with these guys.
Yeah, so went there and really developed myself touring around the world. And then I got to a point where I was kind of like standing still a little bit. I needed to learn I needed to learn the backflip.
Yeah.
And that was when I was about 21 years old.
So we're gonna look at a video clip now. I mean, you're what, 21 on there, yes?
Yeah, I think
21 on here. Upside down, yeah.
Upside down, all right.
Upside down. Bobby's got it for us. So let's just
Here we go.
Let's just roll VT, yeah. This was how 21, yeah.
Yeah, 21.
Så
It's in Danish though, but
Yeah.
luckily
It's okay,
there's
it's all right.
English subtitles.
You can speak over it. It's no
All
problem.
right.
eller blive lam eller whatever. Og så skal du bare selv tro 100%. Altså det er ikke noget med tro 80% eller 99%.
Where is this?
Det er bare
This is at my
100%.
parents'
Du ikke
house,
tror selv
and
på
this
det,
is in
kommer bare
Germany.
rundt.
Okay.
So this is in Germany. I went there to learn. You can see in the foam pit.
Wow.
And we filmed this whole project. It was kind of funny because we started this project because I wanted to learn to flip, and I knew that when we started filming the first day, I was like, "Fucking hell!" Like, now it's gonna happen, you know. So it's like committed to it, and yeah, some beautiful footage.
Yes.
Really,
awesome.
really good guys filming. Like, I can still watch that video and be like, yeah.
Wow.
With the sunset and everything, right? Beautiful.
Da jeg var 3 år gammel, der kørte jeg Speedway.
So there I was saying 3 years old. I always thought I was 3 years old, and then actually I had my own TV show in Denmark last year, and I saw the footage for the first time in my life, and my mom said I was actually 2.5, but all my life I believed I was 3.
I
have the same problem. I think I'm 50. Niels thinks he's 30. So
Yeah, I know Niels.
We have the same problem.
I feel older than Niels sometimes.
Det er at kunne sætte backflip. Det er på tide, at det sker.
I've just got this
Så hvis
thing
det
in
kommer
my
til
head
det, så
where you're
kommer
saying
jeg til at ramme
I
en
turned
top,
up
hvor
to
jeg står stille.
all the guys that were
Så
doing the
det er
bikes and
rigtig
everything, and I wanted to
Men
mix
det
with
er
them.
jo min karriere.
This blonde guy turned up on his bike, revving it and going, "Where's the girls? Where's the girls?"
Nah. It was a mix of everything, adrenaline as well.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, so this is it's pretty funny. I don't remember this at all. You'll see in a moment.
Oh.
Yeah, just eat shit pretty bad.
That knock you out?
Yeah.
Oh.
You see?
Du har jernryst, og du skal ved hende.
I don't even know
vi er
where the
hjemme på
fuck I
gården.
am.
Prøv lige at flytte det kamera der. Yes. Hvor fanden er vi henne? Jeg bor ikke her. Hvor er det så...
Wow, you're out.
How about that? Like, I want to sleep, and then next moment,
Nej, jeg skal i gang.
you see, the next moment I'm like, no, I need to ride. The hell am I talking about?
So did you injure yourself there? Any injuries?
Yeah, I got a concussion, broke some ribs.
Det
Ja.
skete hjemme, eller hvad?
Yeah.
And this is what? This is how old are you now? Do you say, Alex?
21, I think.
21 now.
There. Oh, now? No, now I'm
wish.
26. Yeah, I wish. Oh my god.
So do we. 21. I can remember when I was 21. Not.
I cannot, as you can see. Yeah, they told me to rest up
Yeah.
for like 4 months or 5 months.
And how long did you last for?
3 weeks, I think.
It's the best policy, though.
I always try to argue. I try to cut a deal with the doctor every time.
Altså, jeg føler mig selvsikker nok, men føler man altid lidt mere nervøs, når man
And this is still at the same
står i
place, yeah?
situationen.
Yeah, this is in Germany.
Gider ikke love noget, men det føles som om i dag bliver dagen. Jeg ved sgu ikke.
Yeah, that's funny. That could have ended the whole day. The bike was like 20 centimeters.
I was going to say that was close, wasn't
Yeah.
that one?
Don't stop. You think too much. Go back and flip again. Try.
You don't wear the collar,
Nah, I don't even wear a shirt.
no?
Nah,
bedre.
I never
føles
actually
fandme
wear
god.
protection
Da jeg
anymore.
sagt, at jeg kunne overhovedet ikke se rampen på grund af solen. Jeg må bare lige sådan føle mig frem til, hvornår fanden det var, jeg skulle rykke.
Så der er kun 2 muligheder. Enten så kommer jeg herfra i en ambulance, eller så kommer jeg herfra som en gladeste mand på jorden.
Anytime when you're doing these kind of things, is there any time when you go, I don't want to carry on?
Jeg planlægger, det bliver B.
Have you thought that before?
Så gør jeg det.
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah. I've asked the same question to quite a lot of riders, actually.
Yeah, there is times where you just think it's not worth it, and then you get away from it for a while, and then it's like you miss it, you know? You miss that feeling. That feeling right there, I wish every human could experience this feeling right here. It's like next level feeling.
Yeah.
You just commit to something that you know will kill you if you fuck it up.
Yeah.
It's not like jumping out of a plane and pulling the parachute because you let your life depend on the parachute. I let my life depend on whether or not I do exactly right. You know, you got to stay so calm, so focused, and you got to do everything right. It looks so easy, but it's so fucking unnatural to flip
Yeah,
a 100
sure.
kilo dirt bike.
Absolutely.
So unnatural, you know.
Absolutely. Dwayne is in Australia, isn't he, Dwayne? Yeah. He says hello. He's the dirt bike devil. He calls
yeah?
him. The dirt bike devil. Hi, Dwayne. Thanks a lot.
So this is actually just a few weeks after I learned to flip. I learned so many flip tricks, backflip combinations, just straight after I learned to flip, because I was thinking about flipping so long, and then when I got to do it, I was so excited. All those tricks, normally people, they practice them into the foam pit, but I just did it straight for it.
That's balls.
I didn't have time to fucking
Get the foam.
No, and I didn't have money to go back to Germany and learn it anyways. I literally burned my last cash on my fuel tank was empty when I came back, and then I had zero money in my bank, zero cash. I was broke, completely broke. I'd spend the last money to learn that because I thought like, okay, when I learn that, I will start getting paid better money to ride, you know?
Persistence. I mean, you know, I've met riders over the years in the same situation that can't even afford a tank full of petrol, and they've had squeezy bottles of petrol on their bikes just to go around and get more laps.
Got to do what you got to do.
And
you
it's
know?
the persistent, and also the accident side of it, Niels, as well, is that you know, people don't realize, the bike riders and like yourself, the stunt guys, how much adrenaline is punching through their body and how much persistence is there to get back on a bike.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the first thing you think about.
I've seen some wicked crashes and people are really mashed up, and the guy's going, "Well, I'm okay. Give me the second bike."
Yeah,
and you think,
that's it.
"Oh, hang on a minute. You know, I'll be in bed for a year."
Yeah,
but wow, of course, great. I mean, and that was filmed in Germany.
Yeah, it was Germany.
So after you've been to Germany and after you've practiced all your flips and you're getting into it and you've used your last bit of cash.
Yeah.
Did you get any girls, by the way?
Yes.
Good. I'm going to say, because if you said no, that's it, show over. True, Niels? True. So after 21 and you're getting into the flips, you use your money. Did anybody start to recognise you?
Yes, I did.
And how did that happen?
Well, social media. I posted a lot on social media.
There we go.
And I think just a month after I learned to flip, I was already invited to the World Championships. And then I actually just got a message for today from Night of Freestyle, which is one of the biggest show tours around Europe, and they just said that they just messaged me, fun fact, you wrote 27 out of 31 of Night of Freestyle shows.
Wow.
So after this happened, I went on a fucking roll, to be honest with you, man. I just could not get enough.
But how do you handle it? That's a lot of people over the years I've met, suddenly they had nothing, like you said, you had no money left to do this, and then suddenly they're thrown in to the limelight. They've got loads of money, loads of sex, loads of drugs, rock and roll, and everything at their fingertips, and a lot of people steer away from what they're actually doing. I mean, how did you cope with that, or did you not cope with that, or did you find it hard?
Good question, David.
I kept a small circle. No one comes in, no one comes out.
Good answer.
Good answer.
So I kept the right people with me, kept the right people around me, listened to my dad, and just did what I was good at, basically. And I made mistakes. I did some bad shit, but I think I just try to stay true to myself and try to remember when I was confused and when I was lost at times, what I really loved doing. And I could always come back to putting on my helmet and then just feel completely free, because obviously, you tour around the world, you're 21 years old, you can have whatever you want.
Absolutely.
And you come from nothing and suddenly you're everything. And it's hard to deal with, but I think it's harder for some people than other people. I think I was just never really, I was never doing it for the fame, when I was in it, I wish actually that I could go back and enjoy it a bit more, because I was just so
out of it.
Like I felt like I was living in a dream world. Like this can't be real. So I was just doing all these tricks and learning all these new shit, because I thought like, I can't die. Like this can't be real anyway. So I might as well just fucking send it and not care about anything, So, and then the time just went boom like that. And it was, and then, then you realize now you're on a new point. Now you're maybe a little bit more of an adult, and
it's very easy. It's very easy to get the wrong people around you that lead you down the wrong track, that take you away from what you're really good at and your talent. And of course, if you get into those kind of things, it can pull your talent away from you, and suddenly it's all over, and then they don't want to know you anymore.
Exactly.
So it's it's a crash and burn thing with these people.
It is. You got to be careful, man. You got to be careful, because all of a sudden you start attracting different people into your life, which probably you wouldn't search up these people before, and then now they're coming to you, and then it's so hard to like focus on your sport when at the same time you got to deal with your social life and sponsors and money.
But your head has got to be in what you're doing 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
because and I know, and everybody knows that just one blip out of place.
Oh yeah, you're done.
And you could end up with game over.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
that exact what you're saying there is actually funny, because that whole feeling is exactly, that's what I live for. I just love it, I love the fact that what I do is
you're on the edge.
The razor's edge.
I couldn't stand, like sometimes I'll go on holiday and I'll be somewhere for a week or two and I'll just be like, fucking hell, like where's the party? Like,
where's the excitement?
Where the fuck is it at? Like, what's going on?
You need your adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I'm fully adrenaline junkie, and I think I realized that a few years ago. I had an injury and I was off the bike for a while, and I was like, holy shit, I'm fully an adrenaline junkie. Like I can't help it,
I was on charge, bringing you right up today, Alex. We'll watch another video in a second. Now, we'll take you to the Denmark Got Talent that you did in what year was that?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So let's bring you up to 2019. Now you went into the talent show, yeah?
Yeah.
How did you end up there?
Well, actually, I was here in Thailand with my manager, and we were watching a video of another talent show, and he was like, he was showing me something, and I was pretty drunk, and I was just saying, like in a joke, like, fucking, I bet I could win that,
Yeah.
I bet I could do that. And then my manager is quite a special person. He's my best friend as well, and he took me on my word, and he made it happen. And all of a sudden, he just told me, oh yeah, by the way, you got to do this audition. And at this time, I was at a point in my career where I was like financially pretty set, and I was pretty fine, pretty happy with what I was doing. I didn't feel like I needed to push it too far. I was like
content a little bit.
Content, yeah. I was still doing my thing and getting my rushes and learning some new tricks here and there, and it was just fine for me. I went around the world and like Australia and America and everywhere. I had some good times, and then I came into that, and then it kind of brought me back a fire. It brought me
something new.
Yeah, something new, and I was like, yo, I could go out and learn a double backflip or a front flip or some trick that has already been seen before, and I might just win this thing anyways. But it just wasn't enough for me. Like, I had to do something that no one has thought about doing. I wanted to take freestyle and turn it upside down, like inside out. I wanted people to think, because everybody's always inventing new tricks, and no one ever thought about, well, what happens if you take away some of your instinct and senses, And a good friend of mine, Sven from Germany, he got me on that thought, and then, I started. I don't know. I told my manager, like, just tell them that if I go through the audition, that these are the two tricks I have up my sleeve for the final, for the semifinal and the final. And then he told them, and they loved the idea, and we made it happen together. And then, I was in it, and I was like, fucking hell, now I got to do it.
But you did one blindfolded, yeah?
First, I jumped blindfolded, yeah.
So we've got this, haven't we, Bobby?
We do.
Okay.
Do we want to play the audition first?
Is that
let's do that.
Let's play that. We'll do all this. Then we'll bring you up to present date and bring Niels in where we are today. Is that
all
okay?
right.
Yeah, great. All right.
Nu snakker vi om ting, der virker. Nu hold og stinker af benzin. Jo, er I klar på at se det? Ja, jeg er meget, meget klar. Jeg skal bare give den fuld
Så det er lidt farligt, så vi får lige dem her, ikke? Perfekt!
Så kan I holde jer for hovedet, eller? Ej, hold nu.
This was a fun day as well for me.
Det er altafgørende om alting spiller.
Came over there, didn't even know where to set up the ramp and all that. We just hoped there was space somewhere.
Hvis der er den mindste fejl i setupet eller på min cross eller sådan noget, så kan det have
But
fredag.
Where is this?
This is in Copenhagen.
In Copenhagen.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where it is.
Okay.
But this is where they did the audition. So obviously I got permission to do it outside because I couldn't do it inside.
That would be an adrenaline rush.
Yeah. Well, we made that happen in the semifinals. Yeah.
I think one of the things that people don't realise about this, and I've watched this, and I've watched a lot of shows in the past, and I've watched this. Suddenly, you've brought a whole lot of different little kids now into a different thing.
This is crazy.
You've just opened their eyes to
This is crazy.
That was my true intention of it. I never wanted to do it for the money. At this point in my life, I didn't need money. I didn't need more fame or nothing like that. I truly do not care at all about fame or stuff like that.
Good attitude.
It doesn't matter to me, but I wanted the kids to see a new sport, and I wanted them to think. I wanted them to know that something that looks so unreal and so out of the ordinary is, if you have a dream, you should just fucking just go for it. Why not?
My dad's favourite song. What a wonderful song.
Yeah, they did a good job editing this.
This is nuts, man. No hands right there.
Yeah, you're just flying. It's a good feeling.
It's a good job he's not got a microphone in his helmet, though. You know that, don't you? Whoa, shit! Where's my mic gone?
I'd like to see my face while I'm doing this. I don't know what kind of faces I'm making when I'm doing this. Yeah, you see those reactions of the kids? Gives me goosebumps, man. It's just completely worth it.
Out of all this, the show and doing your thing, what you're doing and all that, is the thing that I said that is the realization to the kids that you've just opened up their eyes.
When I get messages from kids being like they want to be like me when they grow up, I'm just like, whoa, that's just so surreal.
You can't buy that. You can't buy that.
And that's just that's not only because of what I do. That's also a thing about who I am and how I speak, what I do, what I say. I'm just truly real, I'm not trying to be this famous guy who's trying to be political correct, you know.
So we got the blindfolded bit, yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Let's go for that because I think that's pretty awesome. Did you practice this at all with that?
Yeah.
Stunt.
Yes, I
Det er
did.
så farligt for publikum her i salen, at vi for første gang i Danmark har Talents historie har været nødt til at optage det tidligere. Men for at det er fair for alle deltagere i aften, så fik Alex selvfølgelig kun en enkelt chance. Så lad os se, hvordan det gik.
There's just a moment when you know now is the time to like rev it, and then that's the moment of commitment. Because if you're too late in that moment, you'll die. If you're too early, you'll overjump it, and as you can see, there's a gate. Yeah, like I'm saying right now, I'm saying like you can see the exits, and then there's a lamp and the ceiling as well, so close. So if I pin it too early, I'll jump too far and basically hit the roof and die. And there's no airbag in front of the landing. There's just the chairs and all that. So if I pin it too late, I'll die. This is a stunt where I knew if I fuck this up, it's like I'm gonna get like badly hurt or die.
Do you remember a guy called Eddie Kidd?
Eddie Kidd.
Yeah.
Who told me about that?
I know Eddie Kidd. I know Eddie Kidd. You know that he did exactly what you just said.
Okay.
He was one of the best in the UK. He did his jump.
He jumped over the wall in China or something?
Yeah, he did all that, but he finished the jump. He did the jump. Everything was fantastic. Came down, landed on the other side, went up the embankment, fell over the embankment on the other side and broke his back. He's landed in a wheelchair. So you don't realise how dangerous this shit is. And how quick the game can change.
I think some people must have thought that this could possibly not be real.
Yeah, but CG was it?
And I was thinking a lot like, should I find a way to do this where I can see just a little bit? But I was just like,
could you see?
No, I couldn't see at all. Couldn't see it all, and I thought it was stupid because in the circuses they do that trick about the blindfolded but they can see through the and so many people told me, why don't you do it like that? And I don't know, I just thought like fuck it, might as well go for it,
If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out on TV.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It would be a good way to go out.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I would be ready. I can go back to that moment any day and I'm ready to die for that moment.
We could play it today and say, look what that guy did.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be here. But I mean, that's, you're
Fuck,
here.
that'd be a good way to go out.
Absolutely.
On TV and everything.
Yeah.
I'll be fine with that.
That's better. That is. That's better than UF now, that is, isn't it? I mean, so here, I watched this, and then you've put the helmet on. What are you thinking when you've put this on? I mean, are you thinking about?
I'm still not
sure.
At this point. I'm not still realizing what I'm about to do.
Wow.
And then
are you one of these guys that says, "Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, no problem." And then suddenly you put in the spot and you go, "Shit, what am I doing?"
Yeah. About now. I think about now is the time.
That audience is so quiet, isn't it? It's like
no, that moment where I just lift up my foot and put my both feet on the foot peg. That's where I'm like, man. Fuck this. This is real.
As my dad would say, you're absolutely talented, or you got a screw loose.
I think it's a mix. It's
a mix. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. But like I said, the thing that's I watched this a few times, and it wasn't the case of the show and winning the show and all that. I think it was the fact of you being on the show is the most important. That you brought it to the mainstream media, you brought it to the kids that sit in front of the TV that are watching a program like this, and then suddenly they go, "Dad, get me a motorbike."
Yeah, that's the
reaction.
What I wanted. Yeah, or not even about motorbikes. It's about the fact that you can do literally anything.
Yeah,
I believe truly a human spirit is capable of doing anything you can imagine. If you can imagine it in your head, and if you can see it somewhere inside your head, if you have the courage to speak it, it will happen. You just have to believe in it and keep working for it. And then eventually you'll find yourself in this situation. You'll be like, holy fuck, I remember dreaming about this moment, and now I'm just straight here up in it. That's just now
surreal.
I'm just here. Yeah, surreal. That's the exact moments where you feel life is surreal.
Yeah.
Because you manifested something that you dreamed about for so long. And I want people to, I think the world has gone into like a machine world kind of state where people don't have the courage to dream, and people are just living, feeding their lives to the matrix on the political correctness, and we're all just, and everyone
semi-robots.
People, yeah, and then people like me get kind of get kind of thrown out because you shouldn't think you are something, right?
You don't fit in the
have the
box.
right. You don't have the right to dream, right? And then I say, fuck it, dream, go for it. Why not?
Absolutely.
You're gonna live one time.
Beautiful.
You're gonna live one time. You're gonna die anyways. Might as well die in a fun way,
That's right.
Totally agree with that one. Now you're here in Thailand. Niels is with you at the head of the table. Niels, what's happening? Why are we here?
Well, what happened was that I had a phone call from a mutual friend of Alex and I, and he said, "There's a Danish guy that needs your help," and I hear that every day. And I have a problem.
Helpline.
Yeah, I have a problem. I can never say no. Anyway, so I got in touch with Alex, and we embarked on a very difficult process to get him down here in the middle of all this COVID. Okay, whatever.
Testing times.
Yeah. I share his opinion about hostility against political correctness, so we are on the same page.
I'm on the same page there.
Yeah. But anyhow, I remember that Alex, I said, what do you want to do? Yeah, I love Thailand. I've been here many, many times. I love the Thai people. I really would like to do something in Thailand. What do you think about my act? Do you think it'll sell in Thailand?
Absolutely.
I said, absolutely. Have you
ever
ever been to the third road and see how the Thais that they are driving themselves?
They're doing it anyway. They're doing it. They're all day.
So absolutely, forget about no tourists and foreigners here. The 70 million Thais, they would love what you're doing, and it will work. So we went on that, and then we had a lot of nice conversations during the process. And I could feel with Alex, he was a person who wanted to go all the way with whatever he was doing in life. And that inspired me to keep on helping him because sometimes we went through some walls. It was very difficult.
Yeah, it was.
And then he came down here and we built up a very good chemistry together. So what's ahead of us? The plan is that... Alex has got to get back into training, and he'll brief you on where we stand now. The ramp is getting built and all that. Motorcycle has just arrived from Denmark.
Finally,
yeah. My baby's here.
Yeah.
Apart from that, the plan is that I'm in touch with one of the Thai national channels, with some of the top people there. And we are going to show them the real thing. They've seen the videos, we want them to see the real thing.
Yeah, sure.
And then from that, the plan is to try to get one of the biggest guys in entertainment promotion in Thailand, get him hooked, and set up a national tour to let the Thai people get to know Alex. And there's a lot to it, more than just a sport. I think his personality is very inspiring for a lot of people, and I would really like him to expose that to the Thai community and to the young people in Thailand. So that's where we are, and we've been talking to one of the major tourist attractions here in the Pattaya area to set up a show for a couple of months, once a week. So it's all a process of getting Alex famous and known in Thailand. And then after that, everything is open. And you will ask, what do I do in this equation?
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to make him famous. And that's what I normally can do with my left hand. So that's about where we are.
Yeah.
So, it's my pleasure because I like the guy. I like his manager also, very level-headed.
You got a good guy guiding you anyway.
So
He's a good guy.
I'm just listening. I just lose it completely when Niels is speaking. He's such an inspiring.
Yeah, you can't. Your adrenaline. You've got to keep over there. This guy is going to keep you in line.
Yeah, he will.
He's the jockey. You're the horse.
He's a really inspiring. I met a lot of people in my life, and Niels is just truly one of those people really inspire me.
I think what Niels is talking about as well is the people don't realize. The foreigner people don't realize just how many Thais are into this. It's massive. I mean, you only have to look on the internet. They're just racing like under waves that are tuned up to the heads. There was one the other night I watched for $150,000 for a Thai race that was backed by these
on
two
Honda
people
Wave.
under wave, souped up on the drag. Yeah, and it was $150,000 just on this one race. Yeah, I mean, it's no, I mean, and this is not an odd. This is not an odd thing. Okay, they race for fun and they race against each other for a few thousand baht. There is some serious stuff going down. And if you can get into these speedways, you know, where they race the bikes and you can get your act, you know, your what you bring to the
well, you know, I want to. There's people.
People.
There's people riding motocross here as well. Who already are jumping, and then now I'm building a place to ride. So any Thai or a foreigner or whatever, anyone who's here who has a dirt bike who wants to come out and ride, they can just reach out to me or Nils.
Yeah.
And we'll basically have a ramp set up within this week, within the end of this week.
They'd be fascinated, and of course, you know as well, Nils, if they can get some guidance as well, and you know, and in the right direction.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it could kick off. I mean, okay, we're in trying times at the moment of things that are happening. It looks as though now we've got a bit of light at the tunnel, and they're going to start to ease it off. So I mean, you know, if that opens up, Nils, I mean, it could be really cool.
And when it opens up, it's going to be like the floodgates. So
yeah, absolutely,
it's perfect timing.
I think that I've sensed the love Alex had from the Thai people. He's been here nearly 30 times, huh?
Yeah.
Trips, you know. So he really is hooked into Thailand and the Thai way. So I think that one of the things that he will feel a lot of pleasure doing is to bring the young Thai generation into this kind of sport.
Sure.
So that's another bonus. But having said that, I think that my involvement in this comes from my when I was young, I was probably just as crazy as him, and I think that makes it easy for me to understand him. But I bring to the table a little bit more experience.
Yeah, sure.
And especially about Thailand. So I hope this partnership here can make something interesting. And
well, you've got a wise man, so I mean, you know, he's going to give you some guidance.
You know, I just feel so comfortable here.
Good.
I feel like I feel home, you know, and it gives me, it motivates me to ride as well, having Nils on the side, because when I feel comfortable, I'm very dangerous on the bike, you know. I can make some shit happen, you know. When I feel good, I feel like there's nothing I can't do on that bike. It's literally up to my imagination what kind of stuff I'll invent, but
you're learning all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, I will learn new stuff, and I will keep improving. But in order to improve, I need to feel comfortable with my surroundings. And Nils has really done a spectacular job doing that. He's just been here with me every single day since I came, and made sure everything is fine and helping me out. And I know I can call him 24 hours. So it just makes everything so easier. And it actually, I wouldn't even say it makes it easier. I would say it makes it possible. Yeah, without him, it wouldn't even be possible. You know,
I think without Nils, you'd have I
wouldn't even be here. Let's start with that. I wouldn't even be here.
It'd probably take you a year or so just to find out all the right channels to go down. I mean, this guy, you know, he's like the yellow pages of Pattaya.
But to be honest, man, if it wasn't for Nils, I would be on a tourist visa for 30 days out of the quarantine. I'd have 14 days. What's that good for, you know?
A video. We have one more video?
We do.
Let's do this video. Which one's this one, Bobby?
We have, it's called The Movie.
The Movie.
Is that the one?
This is just a project I think I filmed in 2018 or something.
And we've got the other one as well, haven't we? We've got the This is
just an edit from me riding in my compound.
Oh, we can let that play while we're sort of.
Yeah, it's just standard tricks. I've improved a lot since that, actually.
What about your first jump? I mean, when you actually got that first jump, you know, the first time. I mean, you said you practiced and you practiced and you practiced, and suddenly, bang, you've done it the first time.
I was practicing on a dirt jump, which is nothing like what you're seeing there, and then all of a sudden, there was a promoter from a Supercross event in Hanning in the arena. He contacted me. He had a connection to a guy in Belgium, they had a massive Red Bull KTM team, which they saw my videos, and they wanted me to go to the team. And I was surprised, because I was like, what videos? You know, I was thinking I was still nothing, you know. But they just saw something in me, and then I came there, and then it just exploded. You know, I was with 3 or 4 of the best riders in the world every day, you know, and I was wild, and there was nothing I wouldn't do to live out my dreams. So
do you think it's good? I mean, going on want to know, I think that it's good that you're around those kind of people because it pushes your boundaries, doesn't it? Would you say that?
Well, I came from a racing background, which was very serious sports people. And then you come to see these guys who are older.
Animals.
Yeah, well,
but I'm saying
you learn about the other side of the sport. You know, I knew about the parties and all that, but I didn't know exactly how wild people get. You know, and to be honest with you, it's a really wild industry. Like people are fucking crazy off the bike. Like they're just as crazy as when they're on the bike. So,
but when they're on the bike and on the other bike, when they're on that bike, I mean, how competitive are you? I mean, you know, are you watching what they do? Are you learning what they do? Or are you just doing your thing?
In the beginning, I was obsessed with beating everyone and being better than anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Yes.
Completely competitive. I took that attitude with me from racing. And then I realized I think I just realized that I felt like I was in a different state of mind than the other riders. I felt like I couldn't really relate to any of them. I felt like at a certain point after 5 years in the industry and after being one of the best riders in the world and being acknowledged by my idols as almost better than them, I realized that this is maybe not exactly how I want to do it. I want to go my own way and create my own style and my own tricks. And
do you think that they were sort of like, you know, in a trench and they were just doing their own thing and they were out of it a little bit and not concentrating on it so much?
I think all the riders in the sport nowadays are just trying to compete with each other. They're not really trying to compete with themselves.
Right.
And I was in a different state of mind, and I was just like, you know what? I already beat you, so I don't really give a fuck anymore. Now I'll try and beat myself.
Absolutely. Better yourself.
Yeah, better myself. And
any dates, Niels? Anything on any dates yet? Have we got any dates set for anything happening, or is this just in the future that you're getting this together?
Things are pretty much up in the air because of the COVID thing. But I think that the first part is Alex has to get back in the groove. He has to start to train, and he'll start probably tomorrow if I know him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but, bike is here tonight. So.
Yeah. So that's important, and then we got to show it to a group of people that we want to get on board. To understand what it's all about and where we are going.
Right.
And then so things are really open up, and then we'll.
So you just put in the pieces together at the moment.
Then we'll put a plan together when we kind of have opened up the opportunities.
Good. Well, listen, keep us informed about that, all right? Because, I mean, you know, between us, we can get it out there and get it to the masses, and we'll push it as far as we can.
Something I like to say is that for people who are watching this here, especially here in Thailand, is that this is not just another stunt. We're talking about a world star in Thailand right now.
Real deal. This is the real deal.
It is indeed, and this is really serious. When I wrote to you, I said to you, "This is Alex. He's living on the edge between life and death."
He is,
and this makes it really so interesting for people, because I think that this adrenaline that comes with just watching the show will be really enormous for the people. It'll be such a great inspiration. So
especially for the kids.
Yeah, and this is why I want to emphasize that this is really not just another stunt.
No.
This is world-class entertainment coming to Thailand, and we are going to make sure that it's going to be presented in the right way.
Cool. Thanks for that. Keep us informed about it. And I remember with the racing, what I used to talk to people, they used to say, what do you think about the crowd that used to come and watch the racing? They used to say to me, 50% come to watch the racing and 50% come to see the danger.
Yeah.
Which is true, isn't it?
Yeah.
They do. They see what you're doing and they go, is he going to make it?
I think that's, with freestyle, I think it's 100% the danger.
Absolutely.
You know?
And that's what keeps people interested.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex, Kevin Peterson wrote, Alex also jumped a prison wall back in the day, did a backflip over barbed wire, pure inspiration and work ethic like no one else.
Yeah, but he's left out there. He was doing 6 years at the time.
Kevin is same like my brother. He was on this journey with me, for many years.
Cool.
He's a rider as well.
Okay.
A guy that I actually took in. He came to me after a show. I think it was 2014 or 15, and I had this drunk guy come to me in the pit area and be like, "Hey, I want to come ride." And I'll be like, "All right, cool." And then fucking 2 days later, he showed up. He showed up. And he broke his wrist the first day, and I was like, I was inspired, like, holy shit, this guy really wants it, you know? He's hungry.
Determination.
And we just started being really good friends and traveled. He's been with me in China riding, and he's been with me everywhere around the world, training and riding and supporting me, and then sometimes riding himself as well. And I think for Kevin, he started in an older age. He's a bit older than me. I think he's like 30 years old now. So he was, and he got it. He didn't have the same background that I had. So I think it was a little bit tougher for him to get to that point.
A couple of questions before we say goodbye. A couple of questions. What's your highest point in your career? What do you think, if I said to you, what was the highest point in your career that you could say?
Question.
Yeah. What's the highest point in your career that you could name now that stands out from all the rest? What would you say it was?
Well, it's an interesting question because you ask in my career. So I got to speak as I'm talking about my career, not my life, because that's two very different things about when you feel comfortable with your life or when you feel comfortable about your career. My career, I would say my top peak level is right now.
Cool.
Is right now. I've never been riding better than I am right now.
That's a nice place to be at.
That is why this whole project is so interesting because I am world class level right now.
And the lowest point in your career?
Was probably when I got fired from the team in Belgium for trashing a hotel room for 17,000 euro.
Is that all?
That was pretty low.
That's a small bill.
That was a stupid decision.
Well, okay, at least you've got to learn, you've got to hide, but, you know, to acknowledge people and to sort of like inspire people, I think is worth more than any kind of money. And I mean, being on that show, you've probably inspired a lot of kids that want to go out there now and get a bike. You've got Kevin who's over there that, you know, comes to you and breaks his wrist on the first day and ends up, you know, traveling around the world. You've inspired there. I mean, it's one of the greatest gifts.
Yeah. That's a feeling that you can't buy with money.
No.
That's a feeling
Absolutely not.
That's a feeling of being 100% true to your nature, because it doesn't matter if you ride a bike or if you're good at chess or if you're a rapper or whatever the fuck you are. If you're 100% real, that energy will shine through your soul and it will inspire people around you and it will reflect back on you, and then you will notice it later on in your life.
I think you know what Niels is doing is fantastic with you. I think what you're going to be doing is fantastic. I think it's great for the Thai people. But what I think you don't realize yet is just how many people, how many Thai kids you're going to inspire in Thailand, because it's going to be a lot more than you normally inspire. Because these guys are really going to look up to you, and they're really going to look at you and say, you know, that kid's a god. Oh, wow, you know, and you're going to inspire so many and probably change a few lives. That's worth more than money.
Yeah.
All day long.
But when they get pulled over by the police on the parkway, they're going to go, "Where'd you learn this crazy shit from?"
Him.
I hope I can't go to jail for that.
Alex Porsing.
Just remember, get the 400 baht ticket and give it to him.
Yeah. I know.
Hey, Alex, I know you have two wonderful parents, man. It really comes through your soul. And I know you have wonderful friends. And thank you, Niels, for really bringing them to the podcast studio.
It's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Been brilliant. You've enjoyed it, yeah?
Yeah,
Totally.
I've really enjoyed it here. It's been fun. Yeah, it's been fun.
Niels?
Yeah, I think it's on the right time to say thank you very much to Patty One
and
for having us here. And we look forward to come back.
Well, you know, this is a time of getting together, and all we're getting together. It doesn't matter what we do in life. I mean, in these troubled times, we all come together, and after these troubled times are finished, we're going to stick together. We're going to keep pushing everything we can do together, because people need to stick together, and people need to be inspired, and you're inspiring a lot of people, and you're doing a great job, and it's been a pleasure to have you in the studio today, yeah?
Thank you so much.
Thank you to you coming up, and to you, Niels, as well. Thanks a lot. Bobby, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much,
Alex,
you guys.
the man in the studio. He's the air in the air. Bye-bye.
Talking Heads podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand, with your host, Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.